Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new season of On the Air Sickled. I am so happy to be in front of the camera once again, and happy Sickle Cell Awareness Month. That's right, September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. I just want to be able to say, listen, that package that we just presented before you on mental health is so vitally important. Our team here understands the struggle of fighting sickle cell disease day in and day out. Me, myself, having sickle cell SS, it is a struggle navigating all of our emotions, all of our thoughts, all of the pain, the agony, trying to convince medical providers that our pain is real. We understand. And so the team got together and thought that we should put something out there related to mental health. And so that's what we presented to you at the beginning of the show. Mental health affects many people. Sickle cell patients are no different. And so we want you to know that we support you and you do not have to fight this battle alone. Our chaplain on staff, Chaplain Kean, is working tirelessly to start a new on-the-air sickle support group just for each and every one of you. So you'll be seeing some information come through about the support group on our social media platforms, as well as our website. And, I'm excited for that so that we can all get together and share our thoughts, our concerns, and know that we are not fighting this battle alone. So with that being said, I want to transition a little bit. I know that was a little bit heavy, but I'm excited for the new season, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are on season 3 of On the Air Sickled. On the Air Sickled, for those of you who are new, is a virtual podcast, and we are global. We have interviewed people as far as Africa, Canada, Germany. It's been such a fun and fulfilling ride. And so I'm excited to present our guest on this show, Miss Ciara Johns. Ciara actually was a participant of our campaign from earlier this year for World Sickle Cell Day called When They See Us. When They See Us was a campaign that we started to allow sickle cell warriors to be able to share the good, the bad, the ugly in the name of awareness and advocacy in a way that was unique and special to them. They showed you images from when they were in pain and in crisis, as well as images from when they were, getting ready for a party or enjoying time with the family. And so Ciara Johns is our very first guest on the show. I'm so excited. And that episode is coming to you live right now.
On the air sickle, you are never alone. Together we're stronger. Together we've grown. On the air sickle, where love shines through. Awareness, compassion for me and you. On the air sickle.
Yes, that is our new and latest intro to the podcast, On the Air Sickled, themed by Papa Kenzu. Papa Kenzu is an up-and-coming musical artist who heard about our podcast and heard all the great things that we're trying to do in the community. And he came to me and said, you know what? I want to create a theme song for you guys. And so that theme song has been running on all of the team members' minds throughout the day. It's crazy. It's just been so fun to listen to. Matter of fact, let's ask our production team, can we run that back one more time?
On the air sickle, you are never alone. Together we're stronger. Together we've grown. On the air sickle, where love shines through. Awareness, compassion for me and you. On the air sickle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that was by Papa Kenzu. Before we bring Ciara onto the show, I want to share that we are doing a lot of changes. But as the weather also is changing, it's important that you all know what's coming up, right? So the warmer season is ending and the colder season is beginning. Today's weather is going to be a high of 75 degrees, low of 57. Tomorrow is going to be a high of 76, low of 55. Make sure that you get those heated jackets, those water bottles together. Make sure you got your medications together and all of your doctor's appointments, right? We don't want to see any one of you in the hospital as the colder months are coming our way. Speaking of changes, you've seen in the intro video package that we have a new co-host, Erin Washington. Erin Washington is our newest co-host for On the Air Sickle. She was a guest on previous seasons. And so now she has joined the team to kind of help with the flow and make things fun and exciting. I'm excited for that. So let's bring our co-host onto the show, Miss Erin Washington.
Hey.
Hey, friend, you got your On the Air Sickle gear on?
Happy Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited for this new season. And so now it is the moment that we all have been waiting for to bring on the one and only Ciara Johns. You are live on the air.
Hi. I'm so excited
friend.
to be here.
It's so great to have you. Thank you, first of all, for participating in the When They See Us campaign. We had 20 people that participated in that campaign. And so our team is reaching out to all of them to get them on an episode just like you were on. And I understand that you have a nutritional background. You're a health coach. That's exciting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So I do have my bachelor's degree in nutrition and business. So and I'm working to get my health coach licensing. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also in the process of studying holistic nutrition because I want to be able to really help the Black community, like food is healing and everybody has to eat. So you might as well eat something that's good for your body, But I've always been involved in nutrition and loved food. Like ever since I could hold a spoon, I've been in the kitchen. I know a lot of people say that, but for me, it's quite literal. Like I was up in the cabinets while my mom was cooking. Like I would not stay out of the kitchen. She would get real annoyed with it, but she tolerated it. And once I graduated high school, I decided I was going to go the culinary route until I learned what dietetics was and what that path looked like. And I was like, this is exactly what I was put on this earth to do. And that's how I got into it. And here I am.
Wow. Yeah. My wife is actually a holistic nutritionist, and she is in her doctoral program. And she works for an integrative health organization. But she's a nutritionist there. And so she talks a lot about, how everybody is not the same, right? And how nutrition is beneficial and should be implemented in the sickle cell community. But it's not a highlight. It's not a highlight at all. So that's really cool to see that that's your interest.
Yeah. I agree with your wife. It's not a big highlight for us because there's just so much disinformation out there. There's so much good and bad information, and you just can't really tell what's good, what's bad. How do I go about this? How do I go about that? It's really difficult. It's not an easy thing for the average person. And then you have like people believing that you have to have soursop, or you have to do, certain types of things to help. And every single body is unique. Every single person is different. Even amongst those of us who have sickle cell, none of us have an identical journey. Like we have similarities, but no one's story is exactly the same as someone else's.
Yeah.
And the same thing
Love how
goes
you said that. Different path, each person.
very much. Yes.
Yeah, different path each person. I do want to know. So, what is your sickle cell type?
I have type SS, and I was diagnosed as an infant at about 6 months old. So
Wow.
I am one of the lucky ones that got to grow up knowing and understanding what was going on with my body and learning how to best communicate that to adults as a child. And then as I got into adulthood, how to uh, advocate for myself to get the best care. That is a journey I'm still working on. Advocacy for yourself can be a little difficult, um, especially when you have to be on your own in those settings. But I've been fortunate in that my mom has always been there for me. Like if I ask her to come to an appointment with me, she'll drop everything and say yes and come with me to be my second voice.
Yeah.
And no one knows you better than you do.
Right. I agree.
How do you said something about advocacy, right? And kind of navigating that journey. How was childhood for you, and making friendships and relationships at this point? Like how are you doing with that?
Whew. Big question. Okay.
Oh yeah, we get pretty deep.
Hey, we just started. No, it's okay. Childhood was fine. Like I grew up pretty much like every other kid. The only difference is that my eyes were always jaundiced. That was really it. And the fact that I couldn't run to save my life because could get the air in my lungs, But yeah, like growing up, making friends was a little more difficult for me because I was just very particular about who I wanted to be friends with, and opening up about having sickle cell was really difficult for me because I grew up I'm the only one in my family who has this illness. Like my mother, she only carries a trait, and no one else on either side of her family, maternal or father, has it. So it was a big shock for her. And one thing I can applaud my mom on is that every bit of research that came out, she got her hands on it and she really educated herself, really talked to my doctors to understand the best way to really raise me and help me understand what my body was going through, because she couldn't feel what I was going through. And I would say high school was probably the most critical time for me. Like any average kid, high school is like when you really find out who you are, what you want to do with life. And it's like that's when you get to like explore relationships and make lifelong friendships. And for me, I didn't really have many crises growing up. I had maybe one or two a year, and they would often happen during the summertime because you want to be outside, you want to be out in the pool, you want to be going here, you want to be going there. And like, I want to be like everybody else. So I wasn't, drinking my water and my Gatorade like I was supposed to, and be swimming all day. And then next day, boom, you dehydrated, your hemoglobin is dropped, you gotta go. So growing up during the school year, I didn't have to really worry about like my friends knowing I was sick and like having to explain what was going on with my body and why I couldn't do particular things, why I was granted particular, what's the word? Conveniences, such as like having my water, having excess bathroom breaks,
Accommodations.
Accommodations.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have to explain too much until I would say my junior year of high school. And I got really sick. Like I almost collapsed in the hallway. And because my leg was hurting so much, and it just like caught me so off guard. And by the grace of God, my brother walked around the corner and saw me hugging the wall for dear life and was like, come on, let's go to the nurse. And him and his two little friends practically carried me to the nurse and then stayed outside her office past the bell ringing to make sure I was good. And that was when I realized that like, oh, this is really something that is going to affect my life and is like really not going anywhere, because I was in the hospital for a week. And when I came back from school, all my friends were like, where were you? What's wrong? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Because I was moving a little bit slower. I was still recovering from being in the hospital. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I don't need anything. And my best friend, Fiona, bless her, we're still friends to this day. And she told me after coming home from that visit that her sister dealt with sickle cell too. And she made me feel like I was still normal. I was still just Ciara. I wasn't Ciara that's sick or Ciara the girl who was sick. I was still just me. And she was like, just come to me, like just talk to me. Like I'm going to understand if you don't want to hang out or if you can't hang out. I want to be there when you're in the hospital. Like I'm going to be your friend no matter what, is basically what she said. And she has made good on her word to this very day. Like I just got to see her earlier this year. She had her second baby and she was like, yeah, you got another little nephew. I was just like, that's so beautiful. And so, that was something that made me realize like, hey, I really do got to take care of this body I got. Like I ain't getting another one. So let me really figure out my body and my life and like what I want to do. And getting into college was a real tailspin for me. It was a real 180, like, oh my God, what is life now? Because I'm one of those people that is near perfectionist. I say I'm not a perfectionist. I'm okay with some mistakes, but I want it to be as good as possible. And I really took that to heart when I got into college. Like I wanted those A's. I wanted that 4.0 GPA. And that stress of like just college life, just trying to be an adult, just balancing work life, social life, health, mental, it was all very, very difficult. And
Wow.
I got to a point where I was like going to the ER like almost every week. And I was missing classes and it was killing me mentally and physically. Like I didn't understand what was going on with my body. Like, why was I in so much pain? Why are like I'm on hydroxyurea now? Like I couldn't understand what was going on. Like why was I in more pain when the hydroxyurea was supposed to reduce that? Like why do my labs look good, but I'm still like hurting constantly and like I can't seem to get out of this quote unquote crisis. And my doctors at the time, they were good but not great. And they couldn't explain to me what chronic pain was. I didn't know what that was. They didn't believe me when I said, I think I have avascular necrosis in my knees. And They were like, that's not possible. Like, you don't get it in your people don't get AVN in their knees, they get it in their hips. And I was just like, but clearly the scans say that I don't have any cartilage and my bones degrading. So what is this? Oh, you just need to go to PT. And so like I had to really learn to trust and lean on my village that I had created around me, which included my best friends as well as my roommate and my mom. Because when I did go to college, I didn't go very far. I had just moved about an hour away. And like that was enough distance for me to feel like I was an adult, like, I have my own apartment now, I got my own car. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then it was very much like, hey, God, I got a job. I got a boyfriend. I'm getting my bachelor's degree. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. So why am I in so much pain? Why can't I get a handle on this? Why me? Why does it have to affect me? Why can't it just be how it was? And learning that your body changes whether you want it to or not. And no matter how much you try to ignore what's going on, it's still going to happen. And you have to learn how to deal with it because that's life. You just got to roll with the punches, as they say, And for me, it was really difficult. Like I really ignored my mental health. Like I just pushed, and I pushed until I broke. And when I broke, I actually had to take a semester off. And I didn't think I'd go back and finish. I was like beaten down. Like the director of my program, she didn't like me. She even told me that I needed to consider changing my major because my grades were not meeting up to the standards. And I was just like so heartbroken about that. I was like, I really love this profession. This is really what I want to do. This is what I believe I was put on this earth to do. There is nothing else for me. So how can you say this is not what I'm supposed to do? And I had to wrestle
with your teachers. It's a back and forth process. It's like pulling out teeth.
Exactly. And with that, I had to really, take time to really recover just physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I had to really do some deep soul searching and be like, this is what I want. So let's figure out how we're going to get what we want. Because no matter what, we're going to get it one way or another. And I did end up changing my major, but it was still nutrition based. So I didn't really care. Dietetics and becoming a registered dietitian was never really my ministry, as they say, because I never wanted to be in the hospital. I never wanted to be in a healthcare setting. I felt like I already spent enough time in the hospital. I ain't gonna work here too. Ain't no way.
That.
Yes. I was like, I have spent weeks, months, years of my life in a hospital, and you want me to work in one?
Right.
We're not doing that.
It's wild that you say that. Because I too work in long-term care. I'm an activities director. And I will say this to you, Ciara. God has a way of orchestrating things in a manner that everything works out for the good, right? Absolutely. So, I'm able, because I work in long-term care, to connect with family members and to be able to say, hey, I know what it's like to be the patient in the bed. I had a stroke. I have sickle cell disease. I know what it's like to press the call light and, the nurses say that they're going to come, but then it's 20, 30, almost an hour later before they actually come. So I'm able to connect with people in ways that other healthcare professionals cannot, because they have the book smarts, but they don't have that life experience and support. But it's so interesting that you talked about mental health, and then we had that package shown at the beginning of the episode. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Do you understand me? Like people don't really understand. And I think that, I want to segue into our sponsors, but it's important for us to talk about advocacy and the importance of it. So in that way, people feel comfortable being able to share more about sickle cell disease and what we go through. Let's get to our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy. Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy is the only nonprofit to take a nationwide approach to sickle cell health care and has a healthcare curriculum-based training with patient education. Their unique approach to direct healthcare navigation trains volunteers nationwide and pairs them with sickle cell disease patients to improve patient healthcare outcomes in real time. The organization has trained 80 plus healthcare navigators located across 24 states so far and has served over 300 plus sickle cell disease patients to date, with over 8,500 hours of volunteer service through their programs, courses, and support groups in the last year alone. If you need help navigating the healthcare system, that means emergency room visits and admission stays, contact Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy today at www.sicklecellmedicaladvocacy.org. Also, our second sponsor for this episode is none other than Shift Humanity. Something powerful is happening. Shift Humanity by Grayson Sorrell has launched. In Shift Humanity, Grayson guides readers through an internal navigation system for a meaningful life, showing how adversity, faith, and authenticity shape our identity and influence the world around us. This book is a heartfelt journey of healing, purpose, and resilience. It's not just a message, it's a movement to ignite positive societal change. Be part of the shift. Become a humanity shifter. Sign up for updates at GraysonSorrell.com and follow Grayson's social media at Grayson Sorrell. Now, let's get back to the show. Aaron, so I know that Ciara was talking a lot about mental health. Can you help kind of guide a little bit more into that conversation? You yourself have gone through a lot of changes that require, mental tenacity, I should say, emotional strength. You have anything to follow up on?
I say mental health is a balanced game.
Yeah.
You have to, especially when it comes to people like you, Ciara, understand where you are. You're a people pleaser. You like to make sure everything's good. You're on top. You want to make sure everyone's happy. But inside, you're not. But remember, it does not hurt to say, hey, I love you today. You looking good. I see you inside and out.
Yes, indeed. Ciara, you, I can tell from just this conversation alone how pure you are in this journey of life, how you want the best for yourself and for others. And the message of, I think God chooses unique people to be in this thing called nutrition of any sort, because we are in a microwave society, right? We don't want to wait for the food to cook. We don't want to wait for the job to contact us. We don't want to wait for the next opportunity to come our way, right? So in nutrition, it's like, hey, these are strategies that you can implement into your natural life that, it may be a longer route to see the results, but if you're consistent, then your life can change. And I'm a product of that myself. I have been out of the hospital now for almost a full 3 years because of my wife.
Wow.
My wife changing my diet, and the first thing that she changed was my water. She had me start drinking alkaline water, and then she started saying, hey, you need to have these cayenne pepper drops in your water to increase blood flow. And then I was dealing with iron overload, and she started cooking with turmeric. So there are ways that we can survive this this death sentence that people call it or label it as. And it's here on God's green earth, right? It's all natural products. And so I just think that you are in such a phenomenal position to make an impact. Talking about mental health, talking about nutrition, our sponsors, from Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy, literally training warriors and people that are not related to the sickle cell community to help advocate on behalf of us, right? Graceland's book, talking about societal impact. You are in all of those categories, where your life is showing that, hey, I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to change the world, and I'm here to make an impact. And if it comes from a passion such as nutrition, do it, because that's where God has you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I agree. I agree.
What about like you were talking about hydroxyurea, the medication and stuff like that. Have you found that you have gotten better results from your nutritional journey than from pharmaceutical journey?
I would say that it's really a delicate balance for me personally, because I got really very ill in 2023. I was in the hospital for over a month, and that had been my longest stay. And it was not related to sickle cell. It was something completely different. And when I got out, I had dropped over 20 pounds within that month. And like just trying to get back to some semblance of normal was really difficult because I was on a slew of new medications and I was trying to get my body back to eating, like just anything, because I wasn't holding down food at all that month. And like, I remember getting home and like I had like all sorts of things. Like I had fresh fruit, fresh veggies, things like applesauce, like very simple meals is what I made for myself. And one of the things that I really preach to per se is make something that's going to fit your lifestyle and your energy levels. Like if you like to put in a lot of effort for cooking, do that. But if you're the type where you're constantly on the go or you don't have the patience to be in the kitchen, figure out what's going to work best for you. If that's meal prepping, do that. If that's cooking every single day, do that. And for me, it was a balance of both, like cooking one day and then having leftovers the next day. So for me, I found that it's been a balance of both pharmaceutical and nutrition. And for some people, it's been like way more nutrition. And for others, they've had more success with pharmaceuticals. So it's really a balance of both, I feel, because you can't really have one without the other. And I think the biggest issue, particularly here in America and the medical system, is that they push medications, they push treatment, and they don't talk about food. Like you still got to eat no matter what. Like food is your fuel to get your body going and going the way you need it to. But you have to take this medication, but you have to have food on your stomach. Well, what kind of food should I eat so that this medication isn't going to upset my stomach? So it's things like that I try to help clients with and understand. And I've actually seen success, and I saw success with my grandmother, God rest her soul. She was a type 2 diabetic, and she also was a cancer survivor. And when she started her chemo routines, like if you know someone who has gone through that, you see how quickly they feel like they're losing themselves. And like, so I got to I prepared all of her meals, her snacks, her drinks, everything. And I actually saw her improve and brighten and like almost breathe, like life was breathed back into her when she was eating what I prepared.
Mm.
And if that's not testimony to me for what I'm supposed to be doing in this life, I don't know what is. And we lost her this past December, and I miss her every single day. I still, my mom says she's now one of my ancestors whispering over my ear to stop with the seasoning. So I do believe that pharmaceuticals and nutrition, it's a very delicate balance between the two. And every individual has to figure out where that balance is for them. For some people, it might be 90% nutrition, 10% food, and others it could be 50-50.
Yeah. Wow. That's definitely perspective. First of all, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother. Your story and my wife's story are almost mirror to each other. So crazy to hear. I feel like I'm hearing her story come through your mouth. It's so crazy. But you know, I like to say that while I personally don't understand all the intricate details of nutrition, because my life has been, like you said, growing up in the hospital. Basically, the hospital was my second home. I could tell you, man, I was in Children's Hospital in DC, you know, and then from there I could tell you all the hospitals I was at and which one gave me the best care and which ones didn't, but we're not getting into that. But it's to hear, you know, that I think I'm just now realizing I used to think that my wife was the only one with this perspective that you all commonly share. That's encouraging. It's encouraging to know that there is opportunity here for a change in perspective.
Yes. I do feel like in the recent years, and I say recent as in the last 5 years, there's been a big shift, I feel, in people wanting to, get back to their roots per se, to get back into the kitchen, cook more whole foods, introduce those whole foods to their little ones. And I'm actually fortunate I get to kind of help shape the future generation through my little cousins and my niece and nephew. My niece in particular, who's 5 and is the most curious soul I've ever met. And I've met a lot of little kids. I used to be a teacher, a substitute teacher. So I've met many, many little kids who have no filters.
You're not supposed to. It's okay.
Yeah. But with her, I get to actually show her, hey, this is where our food comes from, because I do have a small garden. I grew tomatoes this summer. We actually have some melons that are starting to come in. We have a herb garden as well. And she'll get out there with me and she'll water, she'll take care of the plants. Like, she'll understand that, hey, this is food. We're going to eat this. It's just getting her to try it is my mountain I'm climbing right now. But she's 5. There's still time.
I'll give you a secret to what I told my wife. Tell me after I've eaten it. Like, don't tell me beforehand.
I do that to her. We have fresh pineapple this summer, and she was like, I'm not trying that. I don't like pineapple. I was like, you've never had it before. I don't care. I'm not trying. Like, couldn't get her to do it. And so I blended it up into a lemonade slushy. She drank the whole thing. And she was like, what's this? I was like, it's my secret lemonade recipe. I can't tell you what's in it. Because if I do, you won't ever drink any lemonade again.
Yeah, y'all are so nice. What I do is like, close your eyes and tell me how you feel when you eat it. You don't need to see it, because all your senses will tell you if you like it or not.
Okay. All right. I feel that.
Yeah, that's a new one. I'm gonna have to.
That was good, Aaron.
Trust me. I remember being a little girl, and I'm like, this spinach tastes nasty. But you're looking at it. Yeah. Close your eyes and say, okay, let's see. Let me feel this. other than judging with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I like
I
that.
like that. That was cool. Hey,
Yes.
look, Ciara, thank you so much for being part of our show. We've come to a point where I dedicate time for the guests to have the spotlight. And so all that means is I want you to be able to look into the camera, talk to our audience, and share whatever motivational content is on your heart in this moment, in this time. Whether it's about advocacy, whether it's about nutrition, whether it's about, encouragement, this is your time to shine. All right.
All
Ready?
right. I'm
All
ready.
right, let's do this.
Okay, so one thing I'd like to just kind of shift the focus onto is my Instagram. It's called Sickle Cell Warriors United. And I started it with a dear friend of mine who's no longer here with us, who is also a warrior. And we started this page because we wanted to show that sickle cell warriors live life outside the hospital, basically. And I have revamped the page with a good friend of mine named Ciarra. And we now have a small group and we push out content that really just shows who we are as warriors, like outside the hospital. It shows our day-to-day lives, and we talk about topics that a lot of people don't talk about. Topics that go on with your body, with relationships and adult relations, and raising kids, making your community and your circle aware of how to care for you, what they can do to care for you, and how to advocate for you when you don't have a voice. So I really just wanted to highlight that. And we're also on TikTok under the same handle. For me personally, I got into this because I felt that there was a void in the online sickle cell community. A lot of pages are about medical advocacy and or legislative advocacy. Not too many show what a warrior is like outside the hospital. Not too many show that us warriors are passionate and that we have those loves of life. And for me, that's nutrition. For my friend Ciarra, that is advocacy online. And for another of our members, Brandon, that's for dancing. So we get to show you guys just who we are as people. And that's the biggest thing I want this segment for me to be the takeaway, is that even I am not my disease. I just have it. It doesn't have me, as so many of us say. And I just want people to remember that those of us who have sickle cell are just that. We are still bright, loving, passionate individuals. And I hope I get to meet some of y'all and just show you how much of my passion I have in life. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ciarra, for sharing. I think I might know Ciarra.
You probably do,
her, aren't you?
You probably know her.
That's my girl.
Oh yeah,
I think I know
you
Ciarra.
probably do. You probably know Ciarra.
I think I know her mom even more. But no, that's cool. That is awesome that you all are working together for this. I mean, we need more organizations, that aren't mainstream, right? To be able to reach the people that feel like they can't get the attention that they need or the spotlight that they need. And that's one of the reasons why we started On the Air Sickled, was because it was birthed from a frustration of mine, where my voice wasn't heard. And so I said, I'm going to create this platform where sickle cell patients can get their voices heard, can be seen without judgment or concern. I'm going to fight it.
Yes, that is exactly what Sickle Cell Warriors United is trying to do. And we do have a big event here in the DFW. So by the time this comes out, it might be over, but maybe I'll see some of you warriors there. I've partnered with a group here in the Dallas area called Restoring the Feeling to put on a concert of local artists in which the proceeds will be donated to 2 sickle cell organizations here in Dallas. And I am so excited about this. I've been, hustling, putting it out there, getting people aware of it. And I'm excited for this turnout. You will definitely see the results on our pages. So go follow us, because you'll get to see some incredible artists and a good time, basically. And it's all in honor of Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ciara Johns, who is our guest for this episode of On the Air Sickled. Ciara, thank you so much. Don't leave us. We're going to put you in the green room. Hang tight.
All righty. Thanks, you guys.
Bye. All right, Aaron, what a show. A first show for you. I thought that was really, really well done. Hearing Ciara's story and just her passion for nutrition, her gentleness is really exciting to see, and refreshing.
I like that whole circle thing though. Like you said, you work as a coordinator for people in the hospital, and she's a nutritionist, and I work in eye care.
Oh wow! See, you never know what God is doing. You just never know. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to On the Air Sickled. I am your host, OD. That is the co-host, Miss Erin Washington. And we are so excited that you have joined us. Please feel free to follow us on all of our social media handles. Listen, we have a 3-layer vision here at On the Air Sickled. Okay, and so I want you to know that if you were to donate to On the Air Sickled, that your money goes on good soil. Our growth is important to us. As you can see, Aaron is part of our team now, as well as we've just got a web communications manager to join our team. We have a chaplain. Our executive producer, Jalen, is doing all the things that you see on screen behind the scenes. And so there's opportunity here at On the Air Sickled where we can get the message of the Warriors out. And so we wanted to focus on continued growth and development for this podcast and organization. Also, we want to support sickle cell research with the NIH and with ASH. There are guidelines that are out there that support sickle cell patients while they're in the medical institution, while they're getting care. And so that is why we partnered with Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy, because we want to be a voice for the voiceless. We want everyone to be able to get an opportunity to proper care, and we need to invest our money into sickle cell research. The last thing is very dear to my heart. It's called the Flip the Bill campaign. Imagine for a second that you are a single parent and you have sickle cell disease, and now you are in the hospital. You're unable to work. You're unable to provide for your children. The bills are due. Hospital bills are coming your way. What if an organization could flip the bill? Meaning we would provide maybe even a week's worth of groceries for your family because you're in the hospital. Or we would take on that primary care bill of $200 and get that out of the way. That's one less thing that you have to worry about. What if there was an opportunity for an organization to invest in you and you don't suffer the consequences for a disease you did not ask for? That is the Flip the Bill campaign. So please, if you would like to donate to On the Air Sickled, you can donate to On the Air Sickled OD. There's a PayPal account right there on the screen. Any gift of any kind is welcome. We thank you for trusting us with your donation. And that is what your money is going towards. You can follow us on all of our social media handles as well. You can follow us on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Spotify, where this podcast will be aired, as well as YouTube. And also, we are on Audible and iHeartRadio. So really excited about that. And we're seeking opportunities to go to Apple Podcasts as well. So lots of things are happening for On the Air Sickled. You don't want to miss. Tune in next time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. Stay strong. And remember, you are never alone.